Hey gang, what's going on? So I'm going to give you my top off-season priorities for the New York Yankees, okay? Starting a little bit early. The World Series isn't over yet, but we kind of have a good idea of how they could better themselves this offseason, particularly with moves that just happened recently, like losing Scott Frost to Tommy John and some other guys. So, but before I do that, I got two pieces of news for you, okay? Well, one piece of news, I'm going to recap the games from yesterday as well, the National League NLDS game. So before I do that, please make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet. I don't want you missing anything good, especially during the off season, the postseason, whatever it is. So because things are going to they're going to pick up right away once the World Series is over. The exclusive free agent window starts, and then the free agent window starts after that. So, and I'll have you updated on everything. I'll be busy. I don't want you to miss anything. So let's get to the announcements first. Number one, the Yankees game has been postponed tonight. Okay, MLB just announced that the Yankees game 2 versus the Cleveland Guardians, which was scheduled for tonight, has been moved to tomorrow to 1:07 p.m. Okay, as part of a Friday afternoon game. So because of inclement weather or sustained bad weather, they had to move it. So it's probably a smart decision rather than having a 4-hour delay like yesterday's Phillies-Braves game. So I wanted to let you know that. All right, so now recapping yesterday, the Braves tied the series at 1. Okay, the Phillies took the first game. Braves beat them yesterday, 3-0. The Phillies just could not muster up any runs. So, and the Braves pitching is that good. Not sexy, but they're that efficient. And some key defensive plays by Dansby Swanson. They had a scare too. Ronald Acuna got hit on the inside of the arm, the right arm, the back arm. So, but he seemed to be okay. I'm guessing he'll be banged up. They may even have to sit him a day as long as there's no broken bones or whatnot. That was a scary one. But all in all, the Braves tied the series 1-1 with a 3-0 win. Moving over to the other National League game, the Dodgers lost to the Padres. The Padres tied it up also. 5-3 win over the Dodgers yesterday with Manny Machado home run, great Jake Cronenworth. So even the score on Clayton Kershaw. And this is what playoff baseball is all about, right? The Padres are that good, the Dodgers are that good, but at some point these guys are going to really take it to each other. So now they travel. They go to San Diego for 2. And they go to Philadelphia for 2. So, and I always say if the away team ties or splits the series when they're away, they're in a good spot heading back home. So, and then if that goes 5, then they'll go back to L.A. and they would go back to Atlanta if it goes that far. So we'll see. But the series are tied. Tomorrow I'll recap, or maybe even later today I'll recap this afternoon's game versus Seattle versus Houston. That's going to be game 2 as well. After that ridiculous Yordan Alvarez walk-off home run. Oh, my God. Seattle's coming back today. Got Luis Castillo on the mound, so it's going to be good. Now, give me my priorities for the Yankees, my offseason. I generally work from least important to most, but this week I have to work the other way around because that one move, when everybody knows what it is, I think it's going to dictate most of the other moves. So priority number 1 is re-signing Aaron Judge, right? So the financials, we have no idea. We have no idea, what the Yankees' plan is. I mean, they're going to up their offer. They have to at this point. At that point, the offer that they made was before this ridiculous season, so it seemed to be a much more reasonable offer, but now we know it's not. And Judge has shown 2 seasons in a row now he's staying healthy, so that has to be taken into consideration. But the new AL home run king, things have changed, and he's going to make a hell of a lot more than the Yankees offered him that he turned down. He bet on himself, and he won. So that's priority number 1, hands down. Now, to me, after that, and let's just say they do that. They get it done, okay? Then that kind of changes the calculus for me. I'm pivoting immediately to starting pitching. I'm going hard after Carlos Rodon. I know Jacob deGrom is going to exercise opt-out and some other people in Verlander, but I'm going hard after Rodon. He stayed healthy as well, and he's younger than these guys, and he'll be cheaper than these guys. So you may be able to get him for a couple of years. You throw an opt-out in there if you have to, but Carlos Rodon is priority number 2 for me. Okay, I'm going after another starting pitcher. Because let's just say Tyone walks, okay? And, it's still up in the air as to whether they're going to exercise the team option on Luis Severino. I'm guessing they will, $15 million option for 2023. So let's just say they do that and Tyone walks. And then you have Cole, Cortez, Severino, and Carlos Rodon. That's a hell of a rotation, okay? And so starting pitcher to me is priority number 1. I'm priority number 2, excuse me. So it's Rodon, or I'm going to try to trade for a starting pitcher one way or another. But I got to get at least 1 starting pitcher. I would love 2, but let's just say the Yankees do 1 because they tend to do less. So sometimes. And then I'm pivoting to relief. Okay. Now we need a replacement for Scott Frost because he needs Tommy John surgery. So the Yankees have 2 options in my opinion. There's probably more, but I'm either going to call Pittsburgh and see what they have, what they want for David Bednar, a power arm, Okay, actually 3 options, okay? David Bednar, who's their closer, okay? And see what they want. I initially wanted Bednar and Brian Reynolds, but I feel that Oswaldo Cabrera is kind of our younger version of Brian Reynolds. So I no longer sense the urgency to bring in Reynolds and Bednar, personally. You might think differently, but I'm going hard after Bednar, or I'm going to call the Detroit Tigers and see what it would cost to get Gregory Soto, their closer, their left-handed fireballing closer. It would cost a lot too. But if you can do that, you give them a prospect-heavy package or whatever, it helps both of these teams accelerate their rebuilds, okay? And it would be, you get a long, controllable piece there, which gives time to not have to rush Efrost back. And if you have Michael King coming back healthy and productive, then the Yankees just got better. You're losing Chapman and Britton, and a good chance of losing Miguel Castro, who's also a free agent. But with Efrost out, and you have these other guys coming back, like Michael King and some of them other guys, if you can get a Bednar or a Soto, or option 3 is go hard after Edwin Diaz in free agency. The Mets closer. Yeah, he's going to cost a ton, probably upwards of $100 million, but he's proven that he can close in New York. Now, he's had some control issues, too, so this more dominant stretch is a more recent thing, so that's something that has to be considered, which is why I would probably go for Bednar or Soto before Edwin Diaz. That's something that has to be considered. So Diaz is kind of like my 3C option. Plus, he's going to cost like $100 million. But he won't cost the prospect that the other guys would cost. So that's something that needs to be factored in there. So let's just say they re-sign Judge, and they get these other guys. They're in a good spot. Now, let's put the scenario out that they don't re-sign Judge, that he walks. Personally, I'm calling Andrew Benintendi's agent, trying to get him back. I think if you can get him on a 5-year, $100 million deal, he's trying to be a good fit here. He was coming into his own, and I would go hard after Benintendi. Because the fact is, what if you get Benintendi, Carlos Rodon, and let's just say Edwin Diaz in free agency? All 3 of these guys combined are going to cost less than Aaron Judge is going to cost by himself. So doing the math, that's another way to do it too. So you can get 3 for the price of 1. Depends on what everybody's impacting. Now, we understand the financial and everything other impact with Aaron Judge, their franchise player, superstar, revenue, and blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, I think it's going to boil down to whether they win the World Series this year and what Judge's negotiating position is. He could say, give me your best offer that first week during that negotiating period with the exclusive negotiating period, and then I want to hear the best offers the second week, and I'll make a decision after the second week. Which again allows him to hear other teams' offers, and if somebody comes in with a higher offer, it gives the Yankees a chance to counter it or beat it. Then he can say that I gave you an opportunity to beat it, you chose not to do it. So, and then he gives Cashman, who's already set up his talking points and whatnot, so it gives everybody an opportunity to state their positions, right? And again, that to me has to be done. So if he walks, you got to try to get Benintendi back hard and Rodon, okay? And then I'm going after a power reliever no matter what. And obviously, the tertiary moves or the ancillary moves, in my opinion, are to try to find a taker for Aaron Hicks and potentially Josh Donaldson. Okay, if you can, even if you have to eat money or give a prospect, you do that, and it frees up spots for guys like Oswald Peraza. It frees flexibility for them to move IKF to third and put Peraza at shortstop. So it allows them to do that as well. And it unclogs some of the infield positions for the Yankees. So that to me is the tertiary move. But priority number 1 is obviously Aaron Judge, and everything kind of falls into place after that. Now, again, I think my personal opinion is, personal feeling and opinion, or what you want to call it, is the Yankees need to, if they're going to do Judge, they have to get him in that first 5 days, that exclusive period. You got to get it done. Don't wait the market out like Cashman does. His price is not going down. It's not. I know Cashman likes to wait the market for price to go. This is free agency. This isn't the trade market. Okay, this is different. You don't have to worry about team prices going down. This is free agency. His price ain't going down. Okay, so if they don't get him then, I pivot really quickly, and I try to get everybody else. And if somehow Aaron Judge happens to still be out there, then you come back with a whopper or whatever it is. But don't let the Aaron Judge deal preclude you from doing other moves that you need to make, because you still need to make these moves. And the longer you wait, the more teams are going to be aggressive, and you'll lose out to teams like the Mariners, right? And the Mets, who are going to be financially aggressive. Texas Rangers, who are going to be financially aggressive. Don't make those mistakes, guys. Okay? So again, recapping this. Priority number 1, Aaron Judge. Then I pivot to starting pitching. Then relief. Okay? Then I try to move those guys. Okay? And if they still want to move Gleyber Torres, he's kind of shown to be a little bit more valuable now. They can either keep him or get him in a bigger package for a starting pitcher. He's got more trade value now, so it's something to keep in mind too. And if they decide to move all three, then it unclogs a lot of things. There's a good chance that Anthony Volpe will be up at some point next year as well. And if they do that, then you just cleared up a lot of infield personnel. And again, IKF is a free agent after next year. So that also opens up third base. So if things work out and you have a prospect there, or if they decide to go nuts and go after Rafael Devers, who's going to be a free agent after next year as well, okay, or if they decide to go nuts and go after Shohei Ohtani, who's also a free agent after next year, it gives them options, gives them flexibility. I don't think Ohtani's a fit here personally. I just don't think this is a fit for him, I should say. So I would move on from that one. And Oswaldo Cabrera, I would give Peraza the time to groom and develop there. He's shown he can do it. And if you move Donaldson, you move IKF to third, you stayed strong defensively, you improved defensive at the shortstop, okay, position. It allows DJ to be the utility guy that they signed him to be, okay? And then they have Oswaldo Cabrera who can play the outfield. Could you imagine the outfield with Benintendi, Bader, and Cabrera, super-duper athletic, speedy, defensively gifted outfield? Okay, something to keep in mind. You plug the same thing, you apply the same thing with Judge, Bader, and Cabrera, or whatever you want to do. So they're the options, but again, it starts at the top. Aaron Judge, right? And what happens after that? Do not make the mistake of waiting too long. Please, Brian Cashman, please don't make the mistake of waiting too long, okay? Give me your feedback, gang. I want to know what you all think. So, and then again, Yankees games postponed. We got the recaps from yesterday's games and my Yankee priorities this offseason. Let's go.